Did the Charlos deserve to win? Plus, who handed in the best performance of the weekend? Please like and subscribe. Help us hit 10,000 subscribers. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Sunday Morning Champion. Ton of action to unpack this weekend. We'll get into the PBC on Fox show, their first ever show. We will get into all the UK action. Warrington and Frampton go to war, plus the heavyweights on Sky Sports. Let's chop it all up. Let's start with the last card and all the controversy. This was supposed to be a showcase of the Charlo twins, and instead it was a nightmare. Starting with Jamel Charlo won the fight. He won the fight handle. He still didn't look good doing it. And I'm not being biased. I scored his fight with Trout a draw. So I'm not in any way biased in favor of Jamel Charlo. He was swinging wildly and whatnot, and he was getting hit, but he landed the cleaner shots. He landed more shots. He won the rounds. I don't want to say he dominated the fight. We had it 10 rounds to 2. Watching it again this morning, I scored it 9 rounds to 3. The closest I can see this thing is 8-4. So you guys who had this as a draw or even scored it for Harrison, you guys have to let me know. Watching it the first time, I thought Harrison won the 4th and the 9th. Watching it again this morning, I could give him the 4th, the 6th, and the 9th. And you guys have to realize, doing better than you expected him to do is not winning the fight, right? Just because he did better, he didn't get blown out, he didn't get outclassed, doesn't mean he's winning the rounds. He's fighting defensively and he's not landing. He's in survival mode, which is fine. You can win fights in survival mode, right? Charlie Edwards fought going backwards and boxed beautifully. Boxed Rosales' head off. And a lot of people scored that fight close or scored it for Rosales. I thought Charlie Edwards won convincingly. I had him 8-4. Maybe 9-3. I thought he won clearly. I had an 8-4 though, I think. But so you can win the fight going backwards. I'm not saying that you can't. But Harrison didn't land. I mean, he threw combinations here and there that mostly missed. I mean, you could see at the end of the fight that Charlo looked like he had won the fight. He dominated the fight. I was shocked when Harrison won the fight. I got a text from one of the guys I trust, score fights, and he had it 9-3 Charlo. I just don't see. And one of the judges scored it 8-4 for Harrison. The other two scored it 7-5. You have to show me 7 or 8 rounds that he won, because that is just incomprehensible to me. I mean, I can't even fathom how you give 8 rounds to Tony Harrison when he was fighting for his life and not landing. We'll post the scorecards. You can go check out the scorecards on the Twitter page, 3D Boxing Blog. We'll post it on the Facebook page too, so you guys can take a look at it. Let me know what you guys think. I want to get into the main event also. I'm going to circle back to Jamel. But let's get to Big Brother, who successfully defended his WBC middleweight title against Matt Karabov in unimpressive fashion. And you guys know Jamal Charlo might be my favorite fighter out there right now. We scored it for Charlo. 115-111. I'll get to my scorecard in a second. I've heard some debate on this the other way. Not much, but I've definitely heard people say that they thought Karabov won. A good chunk of people think Karabov won. Again, I had it 115-111. I'll tell you how I got there. I gave Charlo the first round. Then I gave him the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And a 2-point round in the 12th. The first round, going back, I still think he won. It was close. Then I thought Karabov ran off 2, 3, 4, 5. And I had him up 4-1. I was like, this is going to be a bad day for the Charlos. But I thought Jamel Charlo sat back in the pocket, fired off some right hands, some left hooks, and scored cleanly. And then I gave him a 2-point round for what he did in the 12th. So I had it 115-111, 7 runs to 5 with 1 extra point for the 12th, for the beating he put on Karabov in the 12th. It could have been closer than that. I understand, but it's tough though because Charlo landed the better work. And I want to get it. Karabov is not a bad fighter. I repeat, he is a good fighter. Matt Karabov is a good fighter. He has a win over Jose Uzcategui. Bad fighters don't beat Jose Uzcategui. Really good fighters don't beat Jose Uzcategui. So that counts for something. That being said, not a great performance by Jamel, who I was calling the best 160-pounder. I get it's a replacement fight, short notice. He's looking to the future, talking about Canelo fight, Triple G fight, blah, blah, blah. I get it. And Korobov is a tricky little lefty. He got hit way too much. And at ease, especially in the second, third, fourth, fifth round, he got hit way too much. And it seemed at least early like he didn't know what to do. I felt he dominated the second half of the fight. The only round I gave from the 6th on to Korobov was the 11th, and that was a close round. I thought he landed more shots in that round, but I thought Charlo landed the better shots, so it was one of those things I gave the 11th to Korobov. He's getting hit way too much, really. And you see, he couldn't track him down. Charlo couldn't track Korobov down. He couldn't get him, so he had to sit back in the pocket in the middle of the ring and just try to outbox him, and you knew he wasn't going to get the knockout. Charlo, both of them are and I don't want to get to Jamal, but Jamal is a classic boxer puncher with power. He's exactly the type of fighter you want to train your kids to be. But he couldn't attack. He couldn't. When he came forward, when he tried to get aggressive, he was eating a ton of shots. And look, and I mean this with all due respect to Rodney Shields, who's one of the greatest trainers to ever live. He's fighting a tricky southpaw. Why is he jabbing so much and not throwing the straight right hand? The Achilles heel, the kryptonite for lefties, especially defensive lefties, cuties like that, is the straight right hand, right down the pipe. And Charlo had success when he landed it. When he threw it, the few times he did lead with the right hand, he landed it, and he had success with it. Why was that not the game plan? Like, after the first couple rounds, when you weren't going to have your way with him, when you weren't going to just steamroll him, and again, maybe Ronnie Shields, I know Ronnie, I've met him many times, maybe Ronnie can tell me why that, maybe it was the game plan, he just didn't execute it, but it's like, jabbing against a lefty can be tough, and the Charlo boys have shotgun jabs, they really do. But just basic conventional wisdom. When you fight the lefty, overhand right, straight rights, lead rights, lead rights, lead rights, lead rights, circle the opposite way, lead right. And it just didn't seem like that. Maybe that's debunked. Maybe traditional wisdom is out the window. Like it is in football where people don't run the ball anymore, or in baseball where they put on these crazy shifts. Maybe I'm outdated, right? Maybe throwing lead rights and circling the opposite way is debunked now. I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. But it just seemed weird. It's like you're landing the right. You can't come forward, so you can try to out-jab him from a distance, but he's going to have the advantage of a jabbing contest because he's a lefty. Or you can try to land lead rights, and you can punish him with that. But, okay, again, I need Ronnie Shields to tell me what's going on over there. And I want to get back to Jamel real quick. Jamel needs to go back to Ronnie Shields. And I mean that. Yeah, we're knocking Ronnie Shields. And this is no disrespect to Derek James, R&R Gym, whole Dallas boxing scene. Love it. They do great work. He's not the right trainer for him. You can see Jamel was swinging wildly at times. He was missing by a lot. And Harrison, who I don't think won the fight, was the cleaner, better, pure boxer. That shouldn't be. Jamel Charlo should be levels ahead of this guy, right? And Jamel Charlo has all the talent and the skills to be levels ahead of Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison is nothing special. He's a good athlete, a good boxer. He's nothing special. Jamel Charlo should clean the clock with that guy. Look, we were saying Jamel Charlo was the best 154-pounder in the world. He would get outboxed by Lara. And don't even... Does anyone on the face of the earth think he would beat Jared Hurd right now? No. Right? So, again, no disrespect to Derek James or anything like that. Jamel Charlo's got to get back to Ronnie Shields and get back to what made him Jamel. Because he's got all the talent. He's a big, strong, highly skilled, highly powerful, excellent technician, boxer, puncher in the ring. There's no reason for him to not blow Tony Harrison out of the water. Then we want to touch on the terrible scoring. Look, 8 rounds to 4 for Tony Harrison is absolutely unspeakable. It is one of the most unexplainable scorecards I've seen, since Wilder Fury. But That got a match later by 119-108 by Jamal Charlo over Korobov. That means he won one round. I thought Jamal Charlo won the fight, and I had him winning by 4 points, so I had him winning substantially. I had him winning comfortably. There's no way Korobov won one round. He won the second, third, and fourth, for sure. So that's 3 off the bat. We can't even argue. He won the second, third, and the fourth. I don't know I don't know what they were looking at. This is unbelievable that they would score 11 rounds for Jamal Charlo. That scorecard doesn't make any sense. Worst case scenario, it's 9-3. It can't be any closer than 9-3 because Korobov clearly won the second, third, and fourth. And I gave him the 5th, which was close, and I gave him the 11th, which was very close. If you have it 9-3 or you have it 6-6, right? There could be a range, right? I gave it a 2-point round in the 12th for Jamal Charlo. You didn't have to do that. This judge did, so I agree with him on that. But and then there were a couple swing rounds. I thought Jamal Charlo won, especially if you give him a 2-point round in the 12th round. If you wanted to give all the close rounds to Korobov, you could probably maybe work out a draw, but now you're trying to kind of do that. Or you can have it 9-3 Charlo with a 2-point round. But you can't have 11 rounds for Jamal Charlo because he didn't win 11 rounds. Clearly, you can't even make a case that he won 11 rounds. So the scorecards are getting so incomprehensibly bad. Like you had the Wilder Fury scorecard. Then you have these two. There were 6 total scorecards handed in yesterday. 6 of them. 4 of them were a travesty, right? All 3 of them in the Jamal Charlo fight, and then the 119-108 Korobov scorecard. Those are all a travesty. You can't possibly explain those away. Like, there's no way you can arrive at those scorecards. 4 of the 6 in world title fights. It just doesn't make any sense. And we go over to the UK and with the Warrington and Frampton, and they all hand in perfect scorecards. What is going on? And I'm not crying corruption or anything like that, but why is the scoring so incompetent? I just don't understand. Let's get to the heavyweights real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on this because they're not good. The heavyweight, Whyte versus Chisora, and I want to include Dominic Brazil in this. None of these heavyweights are any good. Whyte has had a good year. Let's say that. Whyte's had a good year in elevating his status and will get AJ in April, and that's good for him at least. But he's not good. That's the problem. He can punch, but he's not good. Derek Chisora is certainly not good. He got knocked out by Whyte, who's not good. And Dominic Brazil is no good. I have no idea where Brazil was at on those cards with Negron, and nor do I care, as the scorecards were absolutely atrocious all night long in Brooklyn. But Brazil's performance was terrible. Against a guy who was supposed to take a part in Negron, a guy who's supposed to get a sensational KO against, he's supposed to look like a superstar against, just in case they need to make him fight Wilder next. Well, he isn't good, and he will lose to Wilder. He will lose to all the top guys. So there's basically like 3 tiers of heavyweights, right? So there's the top tier, tier 1, the heavyweight division, has 3 levels. So the top tier is tier 1, right? There's 3 levels. The first level, the top level, is AJ, Fury, Wilder, in some order. 1, 2, and 3. Let's not argue over that right now, but that's the top tier. Those 3 guys. Top 2, the second tier, tier 2, or the Ortiz tier, is Luis Ortiz. That's the entire tier. He loses to all 3 of those guys above him and beats everyone else below him handily, right? So he loses the top 3 guys, handily beats everyone below him. That's the entire group. Tier 3, which is the kind of trash tier. Your Chisoras, your Whytes, your Bryant Jennings, your Brazils, your Huey Furies, Joseph Parkers. These guys. They're kind of good, but they're kind of trash. And they would lose, for sure, to Luis Ortiz, and they would absolutely lose to the guys in the top tier. So those are your 3 tiers. You have your top tier, your Luis Ortiz tier, and your kind of trash tier. But that's the tiers of the heavyweight division. But let me know what you guys think about that. Leave your thoughts, comments below. Were you guys intrigued at all by that heavyweight fight? This is pay-per-view in the UK, which I still can't even believe. I can't believe that you guys in the UK would spend your money on that. I mean, give your money to charity or something. You got to have something better to do with your money than pay for that. Last card, the earliest card, the first card to kick off, was headlined by Josh Warrington, putting on a heck of of a performance to beat Frampton. I have to eat crow on this one. I thought Warrington would fight hard, win some rounds. Especially early, I thought Warrington would win some rounds. But ultimately, Frampton would figure him out, slow him down, dominate him, and pick him apart in the second half of the fight, and he'd roll to a unanimous decision. Warrington would win rounds early, he'd get some early rounds, but after that, he would just, Frampton, starting in the 5th round or so, would just pick him apart and steamroll him. And I don't want to say steamroll him, that's the wrong word, but pick him apart and make him pay every time he came forward. That's not what happened at all. Warrington is making a great run for not only breakout fighter of the year, but just fighter of the year, period. He has 2 upset wins over Shelby and now Frampton. And Frampton is, in my estimation, probably a future Hall of Famer. So this is a great year, and I'm really buying into Warrington. Him and Hurd have changed my mind 180 degrees. Josh Warrington and Jarrett Hurd have changed my mind 180 degrees this year. If you'd asked me a year and a half ago, I would have told you the same thing about Warrington and Hurd. I would have said, No, I was wrong. There's something to these guys. Now, y'all know I'm old school, and I'm a boxing purist. I will always favor and lean towards the pure boxer. And Hurd and Warrington are not that. But there's a lot to them. Let's get back to Warrington, right? We can touch on Hurd when we get close to one of his fights. Because it was Josh Warrington that pulled the upset. He put on the performance of the week. He's not just a come-forward fighter who throws a zillion punches. Look, he beat Frampton better and way more convincingly than Santa Cruz did in 2 attempts. He moves well and avoids punches. Look, Santa Cruz is a great fighter. People have Santa Cruz in their top 10 pound for pound. I'm not saying Warrington is there yet, okay? But he struggled twice with Frampton, getting a win and a loss. Warrington didn't struggle. Warrington was in control. Now Frampton won rounds. I had an 8-4, and I think most people had an 8-4. The judges had an 8-4 and then 116, 113, which means they had an 8-3 with an even round, or is that whatever. You guys, I don't fall in love with the CompuBox numbers, but he held Frampton, a master boxer, to landing only 32% of his punches. All night long, he landed 32% of his punches. A guy that comes forward like he does and releases as many punches as he does should get tagged a lot more than less than a third of the punches thrown against him, especially from a master boxer like Frampton. So what does that mean? It means our eyes are lying to us, and Warrington is a lot slicker and a lot better than he looks. He moves well. His footwork is excellent. I guess his timing is good. Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it again to see exactly what he's doing right. But he cuts the ring off real nice, right? For someone who's not ultra fast, he knows how to cut the ring off. It's like a base stealer in baseball that can steal bases because he can time the pitcher, but he's not the fastest guy in the world. It's kind of like that. He moves well and he avoids punches. Look, you guys know I don't fall in love with CompuBox numbers. I don't think they tell the story. But the point was that they outlined what happened, and that was Frampton never got comfortable. Frampton never got into a comfort zone. He never outboxed them. And Warrington basically, I don't want to say did what he wanted to, but he fought his game plan. And this is a guy, again, I don't know where the ceiling is for Warrington. He doesn't have any power. I mean, he landed clean shots that had no impact on Frampton. And again, knockout percentage doesn't tell the whole story. It doesn't. He's got 6 knockouts and 28 wins. So it doesn't tell the whole story. I know Sergio Martinez didn't have a good knockout record, knockout ratio. It doesn't tell the whole story. Sergio Martinez could punch, right? And I say the same thing about Jesse Vargas. Jesse Vargas doesn't go a lot of knockouts. Jesse Vargas can punch. But this is kind of accurate. He doesn't have any power. He landed clean shots on the button that didn't really stagger or do anything to Frampton. So I can't see him moving up anywhere past 130. Anywhere past 126. He's a big, strong featherweight, but I think he maxes out here. I don't think he can go to 30 with Burchell, Tank, and then possibly Loma and all the guys at 130. I don't think that he can go up there. But 126 is loaded. Let's get him in the ring with Gary Russell Jr. Let's get him in with Santa Cruz. I'm not necessarily picking him against those guys, but I'm not necessarily picking against him either. I think he can make a real good run at 126. And again, it's going to be entertaining. He's never going to be in a boring fight. And his skill set, he's a lot more skilled than he appears, right? He's not just a come-forward fighter who throws a lot of punches. There's a lot to him. Again, and it's going to sound weird because you don't usually see defensive fighters throw 100 punches around. But he's a good defensive fighter. His footwork is well. He cuts off the ring. He does things well. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts, comments below on Warrington, on the heavyweight, my 3-tier system of the heavyweights, as well as my take on the Charlos, and let me know what you guys think. Thoughts, comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe. Hit the like button. For Sunday Morning Champion, this is 3D Boxing signing off, saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.